Welcome back, everybody. It's been a minute. We took a pause for Christmas break, and it was a pretty busy time of year for me. We picked up a new puppy on the December 11th. Busy time with the kids and the family. So I have been MIA for a minute. I apologize if anybody missed any of my content, which I don't know if that's going to be an issue or not, but we are back. Let me just checking my audio real quick. Yeah, looks all right. Okay, cool. All right, so we're picking back up with a world flight, New Year's in 2026 world flight. This particular flight, we're starting back up, I believe. Where are we leaving here? Actually, I should load that in. Let's go to our planner. Let's go to our route. And there we go. So we are departing Mopa. Mopa? I think that's it. Mopa. Which is, oh gosh, why don't I remember? Believe it is in, oh gosh, this is, I don't think it's in Papua New Guinea. I think Papua New Guinea is just a little bit further down. So I'm not totally sure. But this is our flight plan. We're heading from Whiskey Alpha Kilo Kilo, and we're heading down into Australia. This will be so get to Australia, and then we're going to be circling around. Australia's enormous, so it's gonna be an interesting flight. We're going to Townsville International, Yankee Bravo Tango Lima. Our alternate is Yankee Bravo Hotel. Wow, I forgot the phonetic M. I never use it. It's not mother. It's not Mexico. It's not Mexico. I'll tell you what. It's going to come to me in the middle of the flight. But that is our flight plan. We're scheduled to depart runway 34. We're going to be doing today's flights in... we're going to be doing it in a Cirrus VisionJet, and not the one that comes with the sim. We're going to be, actually I want that auto flight level. It wants me all the way up at 31,000. No, that's what I thought, 13. Okay. Send that again. Okay. Yeah, we're going to be heading down here. Only thing is, I think we're going to go for a... We got to set it up for live. But live's in the dark, which means I don't want to do that. Let's do our flight somewhere around there. Okay, we don't want to drop in on 3-4. We can definitely go to small GA parking because this plane is kind of tiny. All right, let's load in here and have a look at the plane. So this is the FlightFX version of the VisionJet. So this would be the one that you would have got if you were flying a VisionJet in 2020. It's better and worse in some ways than the native 2024 version. The static covers and things like that you have to remove from the EFB, unlike the native 2024 version. The cargo door you can't open unless you've got the EFB. We're still going to do our walk around, make sure everything's okay. TKS fluid. It's for your anti-ice, static ports. And this stuff is... In 2020, this is pretty amazing. Actually, I think I'm static. Oh, apparently I can walk through the wings. Okay, that's neat. That's a first. It's not a step. Anything's a step if you try hard enough, I guess. So if we hop on in here, because that's how we have to do it, we'll notice a few things. This is the tablet. You notice you've got Bose A20 headsets. I'm used to those. I fly with those when I do fly. And we're in the VisionJet. I believe we've got the complete configuration set up. Yeah. Oh, no, looks like we're executive right now. I'm going to throw on the complete. So exec has got the two center seats, nothing in the back, and the center console. This console is pretty cool. I don't think any elements of it are actually clickable, but these pop out as kind of work tables. Does the screen come down? Does it? Does it? I don't remember. It does. That's cool. So they definitely spent a lot of time on this model. I'm going to try the tray tables, even though I can't see them as clickable spots. No, nothing's clickable there. That's all right. Cool. Can we pull this? No. Okay. Let's reset to our seat here. So the stack, we can remove our chocks, we can remove our covers, and we're going to use registration. We can have our external power and our luggage door. We can open our luggage door, and we hop back out. There you go. And it is set up like the actual VisionJet, so it's got the cubby that goes back in the tail, so if you're a golfer, I think that's why they anticipated that. See? It's a golf cubby. Not supposed to be able to walk through a plane, but that's alright. So that's a separate compartment from where the back seats are. Alright, close up the luggage door. We do have the... you can have different types of luggage displayed. Snowbird trip, golf trip, family vacation. Let's do a family. Well, actually, I kind of want to see what that looks like. Family vacation. Let's have a look at that luggage again. There you go. Got your suitcases in there. We're all packed up, ready to go. All right, we're in a cold and dark state. Bose. So we put our headsets on. Takes it right off the glare shield. Not going to throw our active noise on just yet. And I want to go with a complete configuration because I believe that still leaves... Oh, maybe not. Let's try complete. And maybe it's family one. Huh. My impression from Cirrus is that the complete configuration will actually give you that center tray. But we're just going to run with the complete one because that's what I want to do. All right. So there isn't a lot to go through here to configure. It is definitely more simple compared to the 2024 implementations of EFBs by various people, even the stuff by FlightFX on the Citation 10. So they also built that one. But all right, so we can, I believe, still have a checklist in here. Checklist. Oh, we do not. That's okay. This aircraft does have an onboard checklist. Battery 1, battery 2. Get all the instruments, everything coming online. We click this guy. There's our checklist. So pre-flight is complete. Doors are latched. Parking brake is required. Battery 1, battery 2 on. Gen 1, Gen 2. Come on. External power, we do not need it currently. Verify active FADEC channels displayed below percentage thrust indicator. FADEC channel A right there. Alright, strobe lights. I think strobe is right there. CAS message check. We've got parking brake. That's fine. We want that on. Thrust lever is set to idle. Indeed it is. Okay. Brakes are being held. And we can go down here. Just get rid of the side stick for a second. We can get rid of that too. We're going to select the engine knob to run. You hear a slight change. Well, that's the fuel pumps coming on. So we should show a fuel pressure. Well, it didn't load our fuel correctly. That's all right. But we've got the CAS message, and we can press the start. There it goes. N1's coming up. ITT is coming up. And T is increasing as well. All instruments are in the green. Just while we're here, because that bugs me, we're going to go back into our... Where's it here? Payload and fuel. I did set our payload and fuel, or our fuel anyway, to 100%. But we're going to do that now. There we go. Because we're going to need it. For this flight, we are most definitely going to need it. All right. So engine is on. Engine instruments, everything's looking good. EIS, check all's normal. Engine IPS, we don't need any protections currently. ECS control panel set. It's currently disabled. Set the fan to auto. That's fine. External GPU, don't have it. Verify oxygen mask switch. That's going to be in our overhead panel. Mass mic, these switches are not actually implemented. As you see, you can click on any of them. Same thing with the caps. And same thing with your emergency. Auto land. Okay. Avionics. Let's have a look at our flight plan real quick. MFD. Flight plan. Approach. Alright, it did not load any of the waypoints. So let's go back in here. Let's go back in here. Send to ATC. That didn't work either. Alright. Well, we have one other fun way of doing this. Let's go to aircraft system. Sorry. SimBrief. That's another wonderful thing that we have. And this that we do not have in the 2024. So I'm actually going to pull in this flight plan. And then I'm going to request from avionics. So this will be my SimBrief flight plan. It should be similar, I believe. And 13,130. Okay. So that makes me a little happier. Okay, cap spins stowed and removed. To be perfectly honest, I do not recall how to stow and remove my cap spins. Let's see here. Let's have a look, double check in the EFB. We can throw a noise reduction on, because why not? Okay. Believe that's gonna passenger brief. We've got none. Seatbelts are secured. Bleed air to bleed from fresh. Before taxi, common nav. Let's set. Pull us up. Let's get the ATIS. Okay, it's not going to talk to me. That's all right.
Mopa Airport information, November 1700 Zulu. Wind 246 at Niner. Visibility 6. Sky condition. Few clouds at 2,400. Few clouds at 4,800. Few clouds at 14,200. Temperature 29er. Dew point 24. QNH 1007. Visual runway 16 in use. Landing and departing runway 16. VFR aircraft say direction of flight. All aircraft read back. Hold short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact. You have November.
All right, we have November.
Mopa Airport information, November 1700 Zulu. Wind 246 at
Go.
Niner. Visibility 6. Sky conditions.
QNH. Alright, we're going to set our altitude. We're going to 13,000. This does not have any speed increase on the knob turn rate, which some other aircraft do. Definitely makes it a little easier when you're dialing big changes. Apparently not quite the same. Real world aircraft does have some sort of speed increase on there. But that's alright. We can make do just fine with that. Okay. We are going to... Let's go back here. .21.8 apparently. Okay. Simbrief wants me at 21.8. Then we will go to 21.8. I'm not going to mess with ATC because it already seems a little buggy right now. So we're just going to pretend we've made all our appropriate calls. And we have got the clearance we need. Altimeter set and check, transponder. Which one was my transponder here? Yeah, we'll leave it at 1200. Cool. Heading altimeter set. Flight controls are free and clear. Trim to 6%. Take off, go around button. We can hit that. It will set all these lovely things in here. Cast message check. Seats are in normal position. Parking brake can be released, although that was already hit. Brakes checked. Okay, before takeoff, I'm going to get my probe heat on, and we're going to get our oxygen on, which leaves just the park brake holding us here, which is perfectly fine. Okay. For my flight plan over here. There we go. All right, departure briefing is set, so we can release. Oh. That was me fat arming. So park brake is off. And really gonna stop hitting that one. Let's put that over here for the moment being. Oh, and the other thing that is absolutely frickin' phenomenal about this aircraft, or I find it, maybe others don't. If you're on a PC, you probably don't care one bit. But us Xbox users, when it's gonna. Nope, it's not gonna work for me. That's okay. Just orientating my tablet here. So on Xbox, we are limited with a lot of things. One thing this aircraft has that many others don't is it does have Navigraph integration, but it has the Navigraph Simlink integration, which means I can have an external tablet, like I have on my kneeboard here, showing me my flight, my aircraft, its current speed, altitude, all those things, external to the sim. You can also display your charts and everything else here, right? So you've got charts. There's apparently none currently available. Kidding. There is. So there you go. We've got and I believe we can zoom. So we're taking off 3-4, taxi down, enter. We got a back taxi because there's no taxi down to 3-4. And we're going to take off. All right, so that is effectively our briefing. This plane does not like to move without quite a bit of throttle. Get our flaps. It won't move on idle. Oh, you know, one thing I should have done, just park it up real quick right here. There are initializations you can do on the aircraft. So let's just stop here for a second. Home. We're going to go aircraft systems. We're going to go to where is it here? Let's go to our system tests. We're going to do a pre-flight. It's going to run through its pre-flight tests.
Stall. Stall. Stall.
Okay, those are done. And we can also go to our user utilities, initializations. We're sync with the fuel that's on board. Weight and balance. That one, for whatever reason, I cannot make work for some reason. But that's okay. Okay, so those are all done. Propede is on. Engine ice protection if required. It is not. Okay. Maxed out by PS. Cast messages are good. Trim is set to 6. Flaps are at 50. Verify takeoff emergency badge. Cast message. We are good. Let's taxi down to the end of 3-4 here. All right. Gotta have some nectar of the gods, aka coffee. Now, the VisionJet does not take a lot of runway. But like the Russians say, we pay for the runway, we use the runway. Or something like that. Just get over the piano keys. We're going to swing this guy right around here. I'll turn off those markers because I don't like seeing them. Right over the numbers. Alright, we're going to get our brakes on. We're holding our brakes. Thrust lever. Go take off. We're going to do our engine checks. Everything should be normal. Takeoff thrust set. Engine's good. Brakes are released. Actually, you know, I did forget to set my V-speeds. That's probably an issue with the weight and balance, but that's okay. Rotate at 80. Rotate. And we're up. Oh, a little bouncy. Gear up. Landing lights can come off. Approaching 115. Flaps can come up as well. Takeoff wants to pitch us for 10 degrees. That's okay. All right. We're going to throw nav, autopilot, VNav, and auto throttle. Okay. Normal takeoff. We're in our climb. MCT is being managed, or throttle is being managed by auto throttle. Engine parameters are all in the green. Cabin pressure, which is right down here. We're all in the green. Ice protection is required. None's required currently. Transponder set to appropriate altimeter once we get there. So we get our feet off the pedals here. Got our yaw dampener in. Currently, VNav is setting us up for a 10,000 foot altitude here. That's our first marker. KK 621, kilo 621. See it over here. Let's have our map. Let's go full screen. We can zoom out a little. So we're shooting for a 10,000 foot altitude. Right here. Let's calculate our top climb. So again, one of the reasons why I've always loved the VisionJet. It's actually kind of simple to fly. To the point where maybe it's a bit could be boring, I guess. You don't have a lot to interact with. I mean, you've got a suite of screens, and for some, they don't like that. Okay. We can, and you'll see these knobs here. This is kind of surrounded in a purple hue. And also, if you look down here, it is also selected right there. I'll show you your panels. If you rotate this knob, see now it's highlighted the checklist. But what I can do, I'm going to go back to my primary flight to say. So this one, I always kind of leave here. In this setting, excuse me. Don't really need my checklist right now. I'm gonna set up my primary flight display. And okay, radar's on, PFD settings, full. Got my angle of attack set to auto, so when that becomes important, usually during landing, takeoff. Synthetic vision is currently enabled. Wind is set option 1, which I prefer. UTC is our time. We can change that to local 24 or local 12. That would be your time right here. So it is currently 4:52 a.m. local time. Apparently. And we've got our barometric pressure and hectopascals. All right, we're leveling out at 10,000 feet. There it is. That is one thing I absolutely do love about the VisionJet. The visibility is kind of amazing. Look at that. That's gorgeous. Alright, so do we need any ice protection on? We're going to go, it's already on that screen. Aircraft systems. Status and info. Alright, coming up on our beginning of our left turn onto course. I wonder. We can cycle through our displays here. Okay. So, kind of want to mess with this. Utilities, weight and fuel. It won't let me click on it. Setup. I'd really like to be able to get my proper V-speeds in, but believe looks like it's utilities, weight and balance. Only it's primary flight display, speed bugs, all on. Okay, kidding. Alright. Minimums, 300 feet. Radar, enter. Okay. So that was purely just me. Alright. We are currently climbing for our flight level 218, 21,800 feet. Currently got a slight quartering tailwind, climbing at 210 knots. Autopilot is on. Auto throttle is armed. Currently have no traffic showing, but let me... Can I adjust the range? Traffic map. There we go. So give me a bit larger area displayed. Apologies, had to just touch base with my daughter. I promised her a shopping trip today. She's got some dollary dues from Christmas, and she needs some new shoes. She picked up a pair of new shoes already, but I want to get her a couple pairs just 'cause we live in the wonderful and wet west coast of Canada, so we get a lot of moist weather here, and she has always kind of scuffed her shoes when she's walked, so she wore through her heels. So I want to get her some new shoes. Got to have dry feet. But we also just got a new puppy, which is a bit of a transition again for us. So it's figuring that whole thing out. We want to go to a particular mall called Tsawwassen Mills. It's a really big mall. Lots of stores, lots of room to move around. It's one of those malls where even when it's busy, it doesn't feel crowded, which is fantastic for me because I hate malls. But with the new puppy, we can't just up and go like we used to. We did have a dog, unfortunately passed away last February. He was, I believe, 16 years old, so he had a good life. He was a great dog, but we kind of paused, and you got used to the not having to think about the puppy situation all the time. But now we got to think about it again. So I was just figuring out with the daughter what we should do, what mall she wants to go to, and then my wife might have to take her on her own, and I stay with the dog. But so just figuring that out. It sounds like we'll go to probably the closer mall, and that should work. But I'll leave it up to my daughter. Just want to make sure she's happy. Got to be happy with her decision. Yes, das свидания, comrade. All right, passing 15,000 feet. Clearly not a lot going on out here, considering we are kind of above a bit of an expanse of ocean here. Or waterway, I shouldn't call it ocean. I mean, I guess it is. Inlet, still the ocean. I'm sure it has a more specific nautical name for this type of water, body of water right here. Looks like we are... We're just continuing a very slow climb, 500 feet a minute. Nothing crazy. Getting pushed around a little with the wind. 7-knot tailwind. Over the ground, rated 281. True airspeed 271. Indicated 210-ish. Outside air temperature 0 degrees Celsius. ISA is plus 18C. Well, like I said, having the external Navigraph and Simlink is kind of amazing. They also have that in the HJet or the HondaJet, which is currently in works to make it a 2024 native aircraft, and they're doing a bunch of updates to it, which should make it pretty amazing. I loved flying that one as well. The HondaJet and the VisionJet were both my kind of go-to aircraft for a long time in 2020. Being a console user, having that integration, they're very easy to fly, which, like I said before, can be a little boring for some. Your system's monitoring is just staring at screens versus gauges, and there's not as many switches to flip and all that kind of stuff. All right. 1,000 feet away from 18,000 feet, we're going to go standard barrel pressure. 2992, or was it 1013 hectopascals, I believe. But I could be very wrong. Could be very, very wrong. I'm used to being wrong. But we're going to find out when we hit it. It's kind of the fun part about the VisionJet. Nothing happens super fast in this. I mean, it's got a fairly decent cruise speed. It's not anything to write home about, but it is so easy to fly. Oh, let's see if the caps pins. Yeah, okay. So they automatically got removed. It is a very cool aircraft in a lot of senses. This would be my go-to if I'm talking about a personal aircraft for my family. Has to be, you know, if we're talking has to be something modern, this would probably be my go-to. I know a lot of people harp on the, oh, let's go on a parachute. Oh, you know, real pilots don't need parachutes, or the auto land, things like that. But at the end of the day, if I've got, you know, my wife, my kids, my dog, all in the plane, and something happens to me, I don't want that to be a guaranteed death sentence, right? I mean, my wife, she would make an attempt to figure out how to make it all work. She's a very smart woman, but there's a lot of things that, you know, even if I try to teach her, I don't know if it'd work out. So, yeah, I like the idea having that caps handle there. You know, what if something does go very, very wrong? I can kind of give a little bit of comfort to myself, knowing that, oh, well, you know, if everything goes wrong, you know, if I pass out, plane's flying itself. You know, it's an autopilot. You just mash this big red button. And just recently, there was a King Air 360i, I believe, with an auto land feature in it. They don't have the big red button. They've got a little guarded switch on the panel. They were having an emergency. Somebody hit that button. It came. It landed the plane at the local airport. Transmitted, you know, squawked 7700. I'm not sure what it squawked. I thought it was weird, but anyway. Did the radio communications, displayed messages on the screen to let everybody know, hey, this is what's happening, this is where we're going. It's just, that's kind of amazing, really. That means if something happens to me, if I pass out, being the only person flying, they hit that button, it lands. And then if the engine, it does only have one engine, that is, you know, something that, for redundancy, safety reasons, a lot of people look and go, you know, having the two engines is safety for a lot of people. Here we go, standard barrel pressure. Excuse me. And yeah, I think it would be important. It also can operate from shorter airfields. The flights that I currently do now fit with the capabilities of this aircraft. You know, we do go to Palm Springs. That's where my mother-in-law has a property up there. So we head up there from time to time. Get some windshield heat on as we're starting to see some icing. And away it goes. Not seeing anything on the wings here. That's good. As soon as you hit it, the windshield ice is gone. Let's have a look externally. What do we got externally? Nothing exciting externally. So I'll just leave the windshield heat on. No issues there. We'll see that, where's it we got? Emergency bus 00, that's fine. Generator 28.7, 28 and 6. what happens? Let's turn the windshield heat off. Any change? Not seeing any change there, but we can have a look here. Aircraft systems, electrical. Okay. Alright, here we're going to make a slight left turn. Still climbing for 21.8. 9-knot tailwind. Going to slightly change. 10 knots, 11 knots, 12. Looks like we're going the right direction. Okay, just gonna leave it on. Nice protection. And we've got our windshield heat on, indicated by the green windshield. Windshield is on. So you've got all these indicators here. If I throw our engine heat, get everything on there. £840, 125 gallons total. We've got approximately 3.5 hours of airtime remaining, roughly 1,000 nautical miles. Have a look at our status and info. At 21,547 feet density altitude. Still climbing slowly. Approved flight formula for flap set to normal landing position. So it's estimated land distance required of 2719. If I got a clear 50-foot obstacle, that becomes 5,071 feet. My VREF should be 85 knots. Current temperature 23 degrees. Go a little cooler, 'cause that's don't have any AC on. Line of gear, nose gear up and locked. Temps are normal, everything's normal gear wise. Do wish wish we could get in here. So that means all my initializations for weight and balance never work, which is a bit of a bummer. I am a little curious now if this is something that's been reported to FlightFX. Can have a quick look on their see here, have a look at some of their support side. So, all right. Sorry for the pause in my talking. I was looking to see if there's any support page open for the weight and balance. Oops. Don't hit that button. So I don't believe that is something that is supposed to happen. I believe that the weight and balance initialization page should actually open up another page in this screen. If I click on this utility, weight and balance, I believe I should get a full screen. Which would allow me to properly do my initializations, because you see weight and balance is not highlighted. All right, we're slowly getting to where we need to be. 21.8. Got a 9 knot tailwind. We're now got a ground speed of 303. Career speed of 295. When we level out, we should pick up some speed. Right now we're only at 55% thrust. 55% thrust. And we're currently burning, what do we got here? Fuel flow. 464 pounds per hour, 68 gallons per hour in a climb to 21.8. That's pretty great, if you ask me. Obviously, when we come out of our climb, we should be able to pick up some speed at the same time as pick up some additional fuel economy. So we've got 3 hours, 31 minutes of fuel remaining, according to the onboard calculations. Just a little over 1,000 nautical miles. And if we keep getting an increase in our tailwind here, it's going to do nothing but help us. Now I've got, where am I on my... There we go. About 620 nautical miles to our destination. And again, having all that information right on my knee is pretty cool. I'm able to use my same tablet I do when I'm flying. I've got Navigraph loaded onto there. You can pull up SimBrief as well. Now, if only we could get this linked with ForeFlight. That would be cool. We haven't had any traffic. You can see some marking on the windscreen here. Don't mind these lines right there and there. It's like the rendered blocks from an Xbox. Absolutely hate it, but so that's motivation to go to the PC world. Flight level change. It's not liking the speed it's being asked to produce. But we're 1,000 feet away from our altitude here. That's why you get the marker. So I'll drop a little speed just to hit the 21.8. Just 21. 2.4 nautical miles to the point where we want to be at 21.8. Slight left, which we'll take. That'll give us a little bit more tailwind, in fact. There we go. On course yet again. 21.5. Six. Seven. There we go. 21,800 feet. Did take a fair piece to climb up here. I'm sure we could have done it a little quicker if we wanted to. But now our FMS speed bug moved to Mach 0.535. So that should get us well into the 300 knot range. I think this is kind of like a TBM 930 to 960 range. Well, I guess it'd be more like a 950 or 960. This particular aircraft, you've got the auto throttle, you've got all that kind of stuff. So you could have a jet or you could have a turboprop for that kind of money. I think ease of ownership, ease of use, the VisionJet would probably be a better fit for a lot of people. That's my feeling anyway. The one thing that you don't have is a beta range or reverse thrust, which can be kind of cool when you're going into some shorter fields. But this thing, you know, this aircraft loaded up nearly with full fuel. We can go into a 2,700 foot strip, say 3,000 with full fuel and bags. That's pretty amazing. That gets you into so many airports. I know the G2 Plus, which isn't modeled in the sim, but I guess through the FADEC they allow a bit more thrust, so you can shorter takeoffs, bit better improved climb speeds, all that kind of stuff. It's a little bit more capable even. Something to stay if I'm not a wealthy man, but if I was to consider an aircraft for the family, something that will do what we need it to do, what we want it to do, I think the VisionJet would be a phenomenal aircraft to fly. And heading to Palm Springs, like I was saying, with my mother-in-law having a place there, we can get to Palm Springs pretty easily in one of these. Even if you have to stop, I mean, I kind of think the journey's part of the fun. With the new puppy, we were considering doing a road trip from where we are. We're just inside Vancouver, Canada, so doing a road trip from here to Palm Springs. 21 hours of driving. It's not difficult. Done lots and lots of long distance driving before, and happy to do it. But I kind of feel bad for the kids. I mean, it seems like a fun thing until you're there and you're having to do the drive, and then it might lose its appeal. But with the new puppy, it's something we got to consider, because flying in the airlines with animals is not the most amazing experience. Yeah, true airspeed, 300 knots. Three knots with an indicated 208. So if we get it right up to the I think that's 220 knots, right before the barber pole. We'll be we'll be well above the 311 posted, ground speed 307. I think the record for VisionJet is something in the 500s. I think Starship was 325. True. So this isn't off from those speeds. I mean, I wish they still made the Starship. That thing is too cool. But I think what makes it cool is kind of the vintageness of it. You get a floppy disk drive, 3.5 floppy disk drive for updating your navigation, all the CRT screens, and that's a cool plane. Like I said, I think this plane overall, if you had to buy one for personal use, family use, and you don't want to go with the prop, this is the best thing there is. And the FlightFX version is quite awesome. I know the native 2024 apparently does have better avionics. The G3000 that it uses in there is better than the G3000 that came from FS 2020, and they are not allowed to update it, apparently. Oh, there's my puppers. Come here. Open the door. There we got my dog decided to come down here and visit me. We're not quite sure what he is. He's a rescue from the Republic of Georgia, which, if you're not familiar with where that could be, it is a former Soviet Union country, and they have a lot of street dogs. So my wife's friend recently rescued a dog from China, and we've been without a dog for almost a year. And we started thinking about it and thought it would be nice to have a fur baby around again. So we looked into it, and on the 11th, he had a flight from the Republic of Georgia to Vancouver, and we picked him up at the airport. And he's been great. He's not a big fan of the rain. Neither am I, but we do live on the west coast of Canada, so rain is par for the course. All right. So it looks as though at current altitude and configuration, we are not going to see full potential of the jet here. We get a ground speed of 307 knots, true airspeed of 300. The system's commanding Mach 0.535. Wonder if I can, let's see, switch to manual. Okay, going FMS, but I'm going to turn the auto throttle off. So the maximum thrust that I can command is 59%. But that's going to get us some additional speed here. Drop my time in air. I basically lose half an hour of potential speed. Effectively commanded takeoff thrust in cruise. We can use takeoff thrust for, I believe it's 5 minutes before it must be disabled. Oh, this is sad. I used to have such a high number here. It doesn't translate over from 2020. True, 321. See if we can't pick up some speed. Then I'm going to engage the auto throttle again. We're approaching some land. So we get across the water here. Got land well within gliding distance, so that's going to be Australia. We've got Australia out here now. A little cloudy. A lot cloudy, actually. There we go. 340 across the ground. Close enough. Now hit the auto throttle. You see power's back. 52%. Which is fine. Oh, we'll see that speed drop a little. About 333 or 340 knots across the ground. That's pretty good. It's pretty good for a single engine little jet version of a Cirrus, really. We do have a CAS message for stall speed high, which makes perfect sense. At the higher altitudes, our stall speed is going to be significantly higher. Kind of thinking I want to get it lower. Across the water at 21.8, but I'm thinking maybe bring it down to 13, which was what I had originally planned. water crossing is one of those situations where altitude is good. Being up above, oh look at that, that's some aggressive flight level change right there. Wow. 15 degrees down. I mean, I'm fine with it being in control, but that would be a little uncomfortable for anybody that's sitting in the back. I'm kind of hoping we can get a better view of the ground. Maybe find some dingoes. There's 13,000. Requesting 250 knots from the plane. So it looks like we're going to lose a few knots by dropping down. But nothing major, honestly. That twitch is my yoke. Something very not quite right with my Velocity 1 yoke. There's one of the inputs in it is broken or defective or something. Loose, maybe. I thought I had it fixed some time ago, but should have lost quite a bit of true airspeed. So what are we looking at? Destination, we're just under 500 nautical miles to destination. Still got a bit of time here. There we go. So keep it out of takeoff thrust. That's quite a bit of power, but we do have the fuel for it. 700, roughly saying 700 and climbing nautical miles. And we've only got 500 to do. So it looks like our ETE well, our total ETA and ETE, we're looking at about an hour and 27 minutes. Should arrive 07. What does it say? Landing 0723. Yeah. Arrived to the airport 0718. Seems about right. But actually, what is the current barrel pressure here? Go. There we go. Yeah, 333 knots across the ground. That's TBM speeds right there. Just need a bit more tailwind. Need that tailwind to... This is when I kind of want to go into the weather settings and just give me like a 40 knot tailwind. I think you can get well up into the hundreds, actually. There we go. Maybe we'll get back to that 340 across the ground. That was pretty good. definitely will speed up our flight here. Already picked up 2 minutes. Gotta love being able to mute a mic for sneezes. Alright, so I think we're going to do an RNAV for runway 01. So let's set up some of our hey, what's going on there? Okay, procedures, arrival, approach. No, I want an RNAV. Transition. Okay. Not a lot to see. A lot of those clouds in the way. Get some good speed though, but RTT is right at the threshold for being in the green. All right, we're about 1 hour away from our destination. Uh-oh. An Air India pilot in Vancouver. That's not Guy. So it looks like on the 23rd of December, duty-free staff caught a Air India pilot. Canadian authorities removed an Air India captain from command of a Delhi-bound flight after he failed 2 breathalyzer tests, confirming he was under the influence of alcohol and unfit to fly. The incident occurred on December 23rd, 2025 at Vancouver International ahead of Air India flight AI-186 operated by a Boeing 777 en route to Delhi via Vienna. Concerns were initially raised by airport duty-free staff who detected the smell of alcohol, prompting investigation by the RCMP, which is our Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Transportation Canada notified Air India on December 24th. The pilot identified in reports as Captain Sabura Kumar had violated Canadian aviation regulations. The regulator described the matter as serious and directed the airline to conduct a thorough investigation under its safety management system, submitting findings and corrective actions by January 26, 2026. Potential enforcement action by Canadian authorities remains possible. Air India confirmed the last-minute delay. Starting an alternate pilot was rostered to operate the flight. The airline expressed regret for the passenger inconvenience and emphasized full cooperation with the authorities and placed the pilot off flying duties pending inquiry. Air India maintains zero-tolerance policy towards any violation of applicable rules and regulations, a spokesman said. Indicate comes amid heightened security of pilots' conduct following a separate recent case involving a pilot employed by Air India Express who was arrested in India after allegedly assaulting a passenger during an off-duty incident. Uh-oh. Air India is getting in trouble. That's a big no-no. I remember seeing not too long ago about a pilot, don't know what airline, but caught intoxicated, not just having a drink, but like properly intoxicated, and planning on going for a flight. It's kind of crazy. Thinking I might want to try doing some career flights. I wonder if anybody be overly interested in doing some career flights. Some good speed, 336 true. Let's... How far out are we? We're in 337 nautical miles away from airport. We should probably call tower and let them know we're on a straight in. Because we are a Cirrus pilot after all. Uh-oh, there's a cloud. Pull caps, pull caps. Something I kind of now want to read into. The caps engagement speeds. Oh wait, what if they're up here? Cirrus parachute system, used for emergencies only. Seatbelts must be worn at all times to activate. Pull handle down steadily, both hands. Huh, okay. No speed limitation from the looks of it, though. That'd be wild if you could deploy that at speeds like we're going now. 250 knots, 272 indicated across the ground. No, 272 indicated nearly 350 knots across the ground. I feel like that would just tear out of the plane.
vertical track.
That was a weird one. Vertical track call out when I'm already at 13,000. Okay. Mm. 300 nautical miles. Under an hour, 52 minutes ago. Not bad, not bad. Not bad, not bad. Whoop. Don't hit those rudder pedals. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. No. What? Nope, I did not roll that. Got my e-phone. I got my iPhone right there. Oh, let's put that back. Looks weird without it. There we go. Got our flight plan up there. That's a bit nicer, actually. Doop doop doo. Doop beep beep doo. Puppy dog. Wife. Maybe child 1. Child 2. Their own lights. Got their own climate controls. Eight minutes to our next turn. Should hit OVLET. Looks like we're getting into a little bit more mountainous terrain out here. Is there anything cool? Any points of interest? Lakeland Airport. Oh, we're right at the red line. Gotta love the little mountains popping up here and there. I suppose they're not so little. They're little when you're up here, I guess. You got about 38 minutes to destination. Should arrive there about 0716 Zulu. Calculated landing is 0722. Nom nom. Nonum. Nonum. Sounds like a snack. Time to top of descent, 3341. Got it up on my Navigraph here. Right on my knee board. This next stretch between OVLET and NONUM, 44 nautical miles. So we're doing a RNAV 01. An IBUXI 2A. So at IBUXI, IBUXI, we at or above 10,000. BOMTA between 6 and 7. Routed at or above 4. Add nod. That'll be our approach. Okay, all looking good there. To pin that one too. Okay. Go. Here we go. And my paparoo has come to join me. Isn't that right, Bachi? The family that rescued him in Georgia named him Bachi, which I'm told is a common Georgian name. Which, to be perfectly honest, I've no idea. I know it means kisses in Italian. How do I turn my weather radar on? Weather radar set. Radar on. Display mode. Weather. Ruh-roh. Ruh-roh. That's some weather. Hello, flight plan. I think we're going to have to deviate because that's an awfully nasty looking cloud right there. And even potentially a little bit more. Yeah, that's a nasty looking cloud. We'll do some knob flying. Look at that cloud. I thought there's another storm cell out there too. Okay. Stay away from the bumpy bits. Shooting in between these clouds here. That could make for a cool photo though. Alright, and back on course. Deviate for that horrible looking cloud, but what do we got coming up here? 15 nautical miles. Can we increase the range? I think we can. Oh, we're looking alright. Right. So this is one of the reasons why I really like the VisionJet. Like it's just kind of got a bit of everything. All right, Papadoo. Yeah, good boy. Who's your good boy? Gosh. Oh, careful. He's getting close to his lunchtime. Have a look at the weather. Dodge that one nasty cumulus cloud. There we go. Zoom along. Looks like we got a 19 minutes to destination. We're not too far out from our approach here. I'm gonna go for the RPN Zulu on runway 01. IBUXI 2A and 2Z are now approach. That'll get us in there nicely. Still got a bit to dodge here. Oh, where's my... other... heading up. I want flight plan, lake to lake flight plan. There it is. Alright, so this last section here, we're going to come out over the water. To intercept the IBUXI nav point, which will then get us over to our star. That'll work. Got here. All right. Go. So we got about 14 minutes left in the flight. Top of the descent is going to be coming up soon. Our next altitude, we dial into 10,000 feet. We're going to cheat and just use key binding for barometric pressure. Actually, I kind of want to change. I really prefer inches mercury. So that's what we're going to do. Oh, the other thing that's kind of neat, when you're flying in places that use the metric system, you can get a meters display. So we're 3,048 meters, which is 10,000 feet. Currently at 3,965, which is 13, roughly. So I'm going to enable the auto throttle here again. It's going to power me back, which is fine. We're getting close here. I'm going to let the auto throttle and FMS, the autopilot, take us, deal with the vertical navigation here. Minimums, radar altitude 300 feet. Speed bugs, good approach. Approach 100 knots. Cross the threshold, 90. And I believe, let's have a quick look here. Aircraft systems, stats and info. VRAF of 78 based upon our current weight. We're going to require 2,719 feet. Over 50 foot, we're going to require 4,000 feet. So I may shoot for slightly different speeds here. See if we those are going to be safe. As we drop weight, we're going to need slower speeds, so I may shoot for something closer to like 90, 90 on the approach speed. We'll see what the autopilot does. I'm sure it's going to do 100 down to 90. Let's get back to the map here real quick. Here we go. So we're going to top of descent right about here. Nine knot crosswind. 8, 7, mostly. Yeah, it's true 7.6, 7.6 knot crosswind. Seems like it's dying down. That's kind of good. Nobody likes a good crosswind when trying to land. I'm actually gonna pause it real quick. Kidding. This one. There we go. Just wanted to cycle my yoke forward and back without disrupting the plane, in hopes that I can not have a janky landing trying to deal with what my yoke wants to do. But boy, oh boy, that does not look inviting over there. Huh. Where are we landing? Where are we landing in that? Good thing we're VFR. Actually, what do we got here? 9, 6. What's the flight plan? 9, 6, 52, 36. Final approach is 2140. I'm just going to dial in 2000.
vertical track.
Alright, already dialed in 9,000. Because we're going to be at or above 10. So that makes sense. The marker come in. We're at top of descent. Should see auto throttle pull back. Or see a pitch trim change. And the aircraft's attitude should pitch down. There we are, descent to 9,000 at or above. Drop to 6,000. Coming through the clouds. It's like we got lucky and stayed out of the nastiness. I'll throw out a gauge, FMS mode. And throttle back to 200 knots. And 50%, we're 190, 100%, 150. And there's my vicious dog. Wait, no, that's just my baby dog. That's just my baby dog. A little windy. can activate our approach. Bring our throttle back to 189, get us right underneath the flap and gear extension. Gear can come down actually. Get our landing lights on as well. Give us a little bit of drag. And we can go 50 on our flaps. For 150. Set my controller aside here for a moment. Get set up on my pedals. Alright, runway's in sight. On 50. Full flaps. Flaps are iced. Interesting. Alright, we're doing a flaps 50 landing then. Autopilot master's off. Auto throttle's also off. And let's get on glide. Airpit high. Yes, I understand. My fuel's low. My fuel's low. Our glide path. She's a little windy. Gear down, flaps 50. Fuel level, not ideal. We're going to be coming in a little faster due to the flaps 50. Bit surprised to see the KTAS message that my flaps are iced, but it's alright. 3 red. lost my yoke. Wanted to roll me into the ground.
Minimums. Minimums.
My goodness, is it windy there? Not headwind. 8 knot crosswind. That's fun. Power's back to idle. A little bumpier than I would enjoy, but we're here. Flops up. Let's have a look at the airport diagram here. I think we would like to go left, I believe. We'll go to the turn right on Sierra. I think I'll pick one of these hangars down this way. Right next to this Beechcraft staggered wing, maybe. Or guess not. Let's go some off-roading then. We'll take the grass hangar. Alright. Parking brake, landing lights can come off. All our ice stuff can come off. Strobe lights can come off. Set our engine to off. And we're going to press the engine stop start button. See all our ITT, whatnot come off. Flight director off, VNAV off. Power down. Throw our headphones up there. Let's luggage door open. And let's hop on out of here. We're parked up. Alright, well there it is, our first flight of the new year. We are now officially in Australia. Thanks for joining me, everybody. And that was a fun one to get back into it. Bit of a long one, but now that we're in Australia, we can do some shorter hops around instead of a 3.5 hour flight, because not everybody enjoys sitting around for that long. So thanks for joining me, and we will catch you guys all next time. Have a good one.